The crypto market is on the brink of its next altcoin season, and there is a massive squeeze happening on the chart that no one is talking about. Now, if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Brendan, and we make videos just like this one every single week, multiple times a week. And I want to take some time today and explain just how large and important this squeeze is, where it's happening, and what it could do for the entire crypto market. So without further ado, I want to draw your attention to all of these arrows that I have on my screen here. Now today we're going to be taking a look at something called the Total 2. This is the physical representation of the entire altcoin market cap, or the entirety of crypto's market cap excluding Bitcoin. So we do have Ethereum and most of the altcoins that are included into this one. So what we can see is that we have a very flat level of resistance, and this is highlighted by all of these arrows that we have over here. So each time that we have essentially gotten near this big resistance line of around $600 billion, the altcoin market cap has seen it and rejected, and then seen it and then rejected, and then seen it again and rejected. And every time we get up to this level, there's a big old rejection off of this line, hence why we're calling it a big old resistance line for the altcoin market. Now, the second thing that I want to draw your attention to is that since we have bottomed actually at the beginning of this year, end of last year, altcoins have seen a very climbing level of support over here. So we have seen a really nice formation of higher swing lows happening on more than one occasion. And most significantly, we've had a golden cross and a lot of the moving averages start acting as support. So we had this golden cross that happened back in February of this year. And then since then, both the 200-day moving average and the 50-day moving average have all been acting as support. So let's kind of compile all this data together into a single thesis. What we have is a flat level of resistance that has been tested roughly 5 times in the last 8 or 9 months. We have a climbing level of support, a golden cross on the daily time scale, and both the 50 and 200-day moving averages all acting as support. And what this does is this is all building pressure. So because we have these moving averages and these trend lines that are inclining, they are pushing pressure up into this resistance line, but this resistance line isn't moving. And so what we have from this is a squeeze. Now, this squeeze is caused because of this upwards pressure build out from these multiple different support areas between the moving averages and these trend lines, all pushing pressure upwards, but pressure isn't allowed to move upwards because there's a flat level of resistance, and there has been for almost a year now. And so what this does is this pushes all the pressure into this thing, and what we're going to very likely see is that if we don't break through it this time, we are going to continue to come back down and then hammer away at this over time. And this chart looks more like an inevitability. That's a little bit of a tongue twister for me. But it seems inevitable that eventually this is going to continue to build pressure against this point until eventually the balloon or the volcano has so much pressure built up into it that it is prone to explode. Maybe that's a poor analogy, but I think you guys are getting what I'm trying to say here. Pressure is building towards the upside on the crypto markets. And if we look at what Bitcoin has been doing, especially over the last month or two, Bitcoin has been outperforming the crypto market. That's why if we go and we look at Bitcoin dominance or something like that, we had this massive rise in Bitcoin dominance because Bitcoin dominance was outperforming the crypto markets. Now, the ironic thing here is that if we zoom out, this has historically been a topping point for Bitcoin dominance over the last 2 years. So would it make sense that an altcoin season could be around the corner if Bitcoin dominance is at this historic topping point where every time it gets up here, it typically tops out? And the answer, I think, would be is yes. If this is the point where Bitcoin dominance typically turns around, Bitcoin has been outperforming the altcoin market, maybe it's time for the altcoins to catch back up. Again, maybe it's not today, maybe it's not tomorrow, maybe it's not next week. But I think over the coming months, we are going to see these altcoins squeeze against this resistance, and ultimately, I think it's going to break through. And the big area of opportunity here is that if we look at this chart, there's a lack of foundation and there's a lack of structure in between, I would say, around $700 to $900 billion in market cap, where we go like this and we look, and there is just a lack of foundation and resistance that would stop altcoins from really running. If anything, one could argue that maybe altcoins move from 600 billion to a 700 billion dollar market cap right inside of here. And if it does that, then you could kind of argue, okay, maybe it stops at around the 700 billion because that's where resistance is. But I think if that breaks, there's very little to stop things from moving in here besides a few of the breakdown candles that happened back in May of 2022. So it's just something to kind of consider as we are looking at all of this. So I wanted to make sure that I brought this to everyone's attention. And if we go back to Ethereum, might even be able to be the catalyst for this, because Ethereum has started to perform over the last week or so really, really well, especially in comparison to Bitcoin. And we're seeing a similar-esque pattern here that was happening. And so Ethereum has that golden cross. It's using its moving averages as support. It has that climbing level of support as well, this little trend line that we have down here. And Ethereum has begun to break out, and it's really trying to push back up into some of these higher ranges. And so I want this on the front of everyone's mind as we enter into this weekend. Maybe it's something that happens a week from now, maybe it's a month from now, but I do think that it's inevitable that eventually these altcoins are going to play a little bit of catch up, and that this total 2 looks like eventually it wants to break back out here. And likely when we see that happen, it'll probably hurt the Bitcoin dominance and bring it back down to a lower level. So that's going to be it for this video, everyone. Thank you all for watching. I hope you did enjoy. And if you like the content that I make and you want to watch more videos like this, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. Again, we make multiple videos every single week. So if you want to stick around, that's the best way to do it. But thank you all for watching, and I will see all of you in next week's videos.